Welcome to another episode of Eat, Smoke, Drink. Today I have the pleasure of reviewing an old as shit whiskey. 29 years old, the Glen Grant. Now, this is bottled by Adelphi, cask strength, 52.2%, 29 years old, 465 bottles. The year of distillation is 1988. So, when you hear Glen Grant, when I hear Glen Grant personally, it sends shivers down my spine in the worst possible way. Glen Grant is boring as hell. I find Glen Grant to be, generally speaking, super duper boring, nothing special, generic, what a waste of time as a general rule. And but when we had this at the super premium tasting, everyone looked at each other going, what the actual was that? That was insanely unique and different. So I'm going to take you through it today. When you have a whiskey that exceeds the 25 quarter century years in a barrel, it really changes the whiskey, right? So a lot of people go, oh, age doesn't mean better. Of course it doesn't. You know, you've got exceptions for everything. You've got old whiskies that are absolute shite, and you've got young whiskies that are absolute rock stars. But as a general rule, the flavor changes dramatically when you have well-aged whiskies with high ABV. So note that I say high ABV. When you get a distillery bottling and they're old, they water the shit out of them, right? Because one, they want volume so they can sell the crap out of them, and two, the palates that they're after are the ones that, like, you know, maybe Japanese or Asian palates that might have softer flavor preferences, and so they have to pander to that to a certain degree. When you've got a single barrel cask strength, you can't muck about because your barrel can't be crap, because if it is, you can't cover that up. And you know, if you don't water it down, you get the full flavor of the whiskey without cutting it. You see, if you cut the whiskey, then its potency just isn't there. Like anything else, you can cut a lot of things, you know, like whether it be food ingredients, cocaine, whiskey, whatever. So when you cut it, the potency isn't there, and that's why I do love cask strength. And when it's 29 years old, 52% cask strength, you know that whatever came out of the barrel is in this bottle. So let's get pouring and let's take you through this whiskey. So, like I said, usually Glen Grant, boring as shit. Let's get nosing. This is nothing like any Glen Grant I've ever had. Creamy, buttery, malty, licorice, herbal. That's what I get there. Herbal nose. Absolute insanity. Wow. It's like ginseng root, coriander root, aniseed, cloves, Robitussin, Vicks Formula 44, Chinese cough syrup, caramel. Man, it's absolute insanity, the nose. There's so much going on there. Holy crap. Talcum powder. Not just new talcum powder, but the old cancer-causing Johnson & Johnson's talcum powder. Lime cordial, like a lime syrup. Oh wow. I'm getting something green, like a green leaf. Can't put my finger on it. It's not pine cone resin or it's not pine needles. It's something green. Like, I hate to be cliche to to say fresh cut grass, but not quite. It's got a dirtiness to it, like a slight funkiness, but a dirtiness to it. Like when you go into the forest just after it's rained and you've got that leaf litter, that's it, and you've got the forest, you can smell the trees, you can smell the leaf litter, you can just smell forest and earthiness and vegetation. Wow, absolutely gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Now, I'm not sure if you can still get this, but I will obviously tell you what bottle this is. But this was bottled in 2017. But this is just a highlight of when you see it next, give it a punt, give it a go, because you never know what it's going to be like. And I'm a big fan of Adelphi. I haven't really had many Glen Grant Adelphis in the past, but I tell you now, I will pay attention now for older Glen Grant Adelphis when they come out, because this was a standout. This is a standout. Oh man, I'm just getting that ginseng root. Ginseng root is something that I'm getting in there. It's like a pho. It's like going to a Vietnamese restaurant. Let's get sipping. Oh. Golly. That is, wow. The herbal nature doesn't subside. The nose translates to the palate with the herbal nature. A slight heat, but a perfectly beautiful heat. But the herbal nature of it on the nose translates direct to the palate. I'm getting coriander, I'm getting cloves, I'm getting aniseed, I'm getting, like I said, Robitussin cough syrup, or maybe, like another cough syrup, but a cough syrup. I'm getting a little bit of geese linctus. Really, really crazy. That is nothing, no Glen Grant I've ever had. Oh. Wow, that is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. The mouthfeel is just something else. The mouthfeel is so thick and chewy and oily. It is like, the mouthfeel is almost like an Isla whiskey with all that oil and all that smoke. And it doesn't have too much smoke, but just a hint of smoke, but not too much. A little bit of beeswax, stewed fruits, stewed peaches, stewed apple, burnt butter. Oh, I can just go on. Phenomenal. It's got a leathery smell to it from the back end, and that leathery smell is just freaking absolutely crazy. It's like, wow, absolutely delicious. Wow. Now this is a bottle to behold. The tannin levels are perfect, not heavily tannin. You can't get a hint of new make spirit in there. It's just like the spirit is just so enveloped in barrel influence and whatever else flavoring the barrel gave you, and the environment of the barrel, whatever it may be. You can't get that, passion fruity banana new make spirit flavor. And that's the beauty of having something that's 20 plus years, is that generally speaking you don't get that new make spirit. Sometimes you do, but only in the exception. But this is what you pay for when it comes to age. So when people say it's not better, well, they just haven't had enough of it to know the difference. And that's dangerous in itself, because I'm finding myself that when I do go back to younger, more value orientated whiskies, I struggle a little bit with the palate, because it's just so, the new make spirit is so spiritus and it just hits you. But with an older whiskey, it's just another experience altogether. But the price does reflect that, you know. So, oh wow, absolutely stunning, absolutely stunning. As you can probably tell, yes, I recommend you buying this. If you can find this, buy it. If not, next time you see something like this, or an old Glen Grant cask strength single barrel that's independently bottled, just give it a punt. From now on, I will as well, because this opened my eyes to Glen Grant. Absolutely outstanding. Cigar options for this one, I would actually not have this with a cigar, to be honest. I think a cigar would drown its flavors, although the flavors aren't subtle or the flavors aren't weak and soft. It would still destroy the flavors, I think. This is a whiskey that you sip and then you move on to the next. It's not something that I would session. I think it's way too interesting and too robust for that. It's something that I would start on and then move on to something else, because, you know, it's just so good, so delicious. Until next time, make sure you eat, smoke, drink. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit the bell for my new videos, and until next time, see you again.